Hello everybody, today is Monday, February the 1st, 2021. Wow, it is hard to believe that today is the 1st of February. This year is flying by. Seems like we just started the school year, so I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be working on problems where we're going to have multiple steps to complete them. So we're going to be solving multiple step word problems. And we're going to be learning to use this in a real world context where you might have to solve a problem using multiple steps, doing different operations within that particular problem. So again, we're going to be working on multiple step word problems. And our question that I want you to think about as we're working through this is, how can we write equations with variables to solve two question problems? So meaning there's going to be at least two questions that we've got to answer before we can find the answer to the question being asked. Now, remember, we talked about variables earlier this year. We're going to still talk about those today, and I'll give you the definition that you can write in your journal. So make sure that you have your math journal available to write that in there. But we're going to be talking about multiple step word problems today. And our learning target for today is I will solve multiple step word problems. So we're going to be talking about how we can use different operations again within a particular problem. And the purpose for this is that we can use variables to represent numbers that we don't know, numbers that we need to find. And that's what we're going to do today. Now remember, a variable can be any letter, A through Z. And it doesn't matter which letter you choose. It's all about finding the numbers that will work in place of that variable at the end. So it's okay to use any variable because we're looking for the number that it could represent in the end. It's something that's unknown that we're going to be figuring out. And let's start off with our problem today. Shauna mows 20 lawns in 5 days. She mows the same number of lawns each day. If Shauna earns $26 for each lawn she mows, how much does she earn each day? Draw a picture and write an equation to show how you will solve this problem. Now, here's where we're going to think about how can we draw a picture, what are we trying to answer. For the final question, is there questions that we've got to answer first before we can answer the final question? And then we're going to solve the problem using those pictures and writing that equation. Alright, so to represent this problem, I know that Shauna mows 20 lawns in 5 days. So I'm going to use my tape diagram to show you this particular problem, and then you're going to see that I need to figure out first how many lawns she mows each day before I can solve how much money she's going to make. So I want you to just look at this section right here. So I know that she mows 20 lawns in 5 days. So I already know the total. So I'm looking for how many she mows in each day. Now remember, we talked about how do we determine if we're multiplying or dividing. When we know the total and we have one of the parts, which we know 5, we know that she mows that in 5 days, we need to find the other part using division. So in this case, I know that she mows 20 lawns in 5 days. I need to look for N. N means that we're going to be looking for how many she mowed in one day. So I can divide 20 divided by 5 equals N. Now, we know that when we divide 20 by 5, we can think about what times 5 gives me 20. And most of you already know that fact or can figure it out fairly quickly by counting by your 5s. And 20 divided by 5 equals 4. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Now, this does not answer this complete question. We have to think about now, it's telling us that she makes $26 for every lawn that she mows. They're wanting to know how many dollars she makes in one day. So over here, you're going to see I drew another tape diagram, and this time I'm looking for the total because I don't know that. And D is going to stand for the dollars that she makes in a day. So I know that she can mow 4 lawns in one day, and she's going to be making $26 for each lawn. So I can do 4 times 26 equals D. I chose to use the distributive property here because I'm multiplying a single digit by a two-digit number, and it makes it easier for me to use that distributive property. And the 4 is the number that's being distributed, so I broke up the 20 into 20, or I broke up the 26 into 20 and 6. So now I'm going to do my multiplication for each one. So here I know that 4, and I'm going to think about this digit in the tens place. I know that 4 times 2 is 8. So then all I have to do is add my 0 to the answer to get 80. So 4 times 20 is 80. And then I have been working on my facts, and I know that 4 times 6 is 24. So now I can just add these two together to get 104. So it appears that Shauna is going to make $104 each day. So that is telling me that D, the variable that we're looking for, is equal to $104. $104. The sentence that I would use to finalize this problem is Shauna makes $104 each day. So now we have answered 2 questions in one problem, but we had to answer that first question before we could answer the second. So when you're breaking these problems down, look for the question that you need to answer to get some information from before you can answer the second question. As promised, we do have some vocabulary here, and like I said, you can use your math journal to write this in so you could got all of these definitions and terms down that we use in math. And the word today is variable. It is a letter or a symbol that we use to represent something that's unknown to us, an unknown amount. Just like today in that problem, we used letters to represent the unknown, and we were solving for those. In the first part of that question, we used N to represent the number of the number of lawns that she mows in one day, and then we used D to determine the number of dollars she made in one day. So remember that we can use any variable. It just represents what is unknown, an unknown amount to us. Let's extend our thinking here. So let's suppose that Shauna mows 25 lawns instead of 20 in 5 days. How would the first equation change? Does N still represent 4? So would the first equation that we wrote, the 20 divided by 5, would that change for this problem if she mows 25 lawns instead of 20? So let's think about that. Now we're looking at, here's our original equation. Now we're looking at a difference in the number of lawns that she mows each week. So we have changed this number to 25 lawns. And this is going to look a little different down here as well, because we still know that we are doing 5 days. So that doesn't change. The look of this doesn't change, but would our equation change? And that would be an absolute yes, because we're dividing up more lawns that she did in 5 days. So we're still looking for N. That doesn't change. It's going to look the same. We're still looking for N. But my question was, would N still equal 4? Would N still equal 4? So let's think about how that would look. We are now dividing 25 by N, and we have more lawns to divide. So would it still equal 4? In this case, we could think about what times 5 gives us 25, and if we do some of the strategies we learned, or if we know that basic fact, we know that 5 times 5 equals 25. So now we know that n is equal to, in this case, 5. So if I were to put that into my tape diagram up here, I would be 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, and it's not going to equal the same as the first equation because our total number changed, which means that we're going to also have a change in the quotient when we divide. Remember that you can always use the virtual manipulative slide to help you with any of those hands-on activities that we would actually, or items that we would be using in class. But since we can't do that, you can use these online. So remember that you can find that located in the Google Classroom. And also remember that you can find on the class target slide the problem of the day. You can find your daily assignments listed, and you can also watch the video for this particular lesson and any lessons for future by clicking here and on the speech bubble, and it will show you the link to my YouTube channel, which I would ask you all to subscribe to, because if you miss a day, you can always go back and find the lesson there where I'm either teaching you myself or I've posted a YouTube video that goes along with the lesson. Today, your lesson work is going to be the problem of the day, and then K7. You are going to be using your knowledge of division to help you solve problems with factors up through 10. Remember that even if you don't know the basic multiplication fact that would go along with that fact family of division, that you can use the strategies I've taught you by using equal groups. An array works as well. You could use repeated subtraction to solve division, or again, just those basic multiplication fact knowledge that helps you with that as well. So you can use all of those strategies to help you with division for these problems that you're going to be using today. I would encourage you to use dry erase boards to draw those on, or paper and pencil. Just because we're doing computer work doesn't mean that we don't need to write the problem down and solve those. So today you're still going to be working on division of with factors up through 10. If you have any questions, remember that we will be online to help you with those. We will be doing our multiplication test today, so my time is not available as much because I'm going to be involved with small groups doing that multiplication test. Remember to look for your time and be there. I will let you in as soon as I'm finished with the group that's prior to you. So if you are waiting, please wait patiently, and I will let you in as soon as I clear the room from the group that's previously taking their test before you. So if you have any questions, again, always hop onto the whole group Google Meet. We're available till 3 o'clock. Have a great day.